morning, good afternoon, whatever time you were tuning in. This is Afriame. I am going to react to a clip on MSNBC. It's Jasmine Crockett. She's a congresswoman. So let's go ahead and see what she's talking about, man.
Joining us now is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Democrat from Texas and member of the Oversight and Agricultural Committees. All right, Congresswoman, when you hear those remarks, what are your initial thoughts?
Again, we have someone who doesn't know what he's doing. And, you know, this idea of, oh, you know, you're illegal and then you go out and have a child. It's not quite that simple, especially when you have people that are doing things like seeking asylum and people that are saying, listen, I'm just trying to make sure that I can live a better life here in the United States. And I want to do everything that I can to become an American citizen or at least get some sort of legal status. And you have, you know, Trump that goes out there, him and his minions, and they say things like, you know what, we're only going to get rid of the bad ones, right? And so people sit there and they're like, wait a minute, you're going to come to my job where I'm working and I may be paying into taxes or...
If you are here illegally, yeah, that's what's going to happen. I'm sorry.
Whatever, or my kids are at school, you know, I think that there's going to be a rude awakening really on all sides.
There's also, to me, the idea that vulnerable women without access to health care or birth control may or may not be choosing whether or not they are conceiving a child, but I'll leave that there. Holman also said family detention centers could play a role in deportation efforts, and he added that those facilities would not be jails, but, quote, open-air campuses designed for families. I'm not sure access to fresh air was a lot of people's issue with that policy, but I'm wondering how plausible that sounds to you.
I'm curious to know if he's ever been to a jail or a prison. The reality is that these are nothing more than detention camps that look a lot like jails and prisons. I mean, obviously, there's what they call the yard when you go to a prison, and that is an open air facility. But, you know, there's always been a lack of humanity when it comes to immigration and this administration. If people remember the separation before, they may remember that, but they may not remember how much money it cost the United States when we were sued about the fact that these families were separated.
And deportations themselves are a really expensive prospect.
Right. We know, you know, Texas is like, hey, we will go ahead and give you the land to do what you want.
Ask New York if they care. Yeah, ask some people in California if they care. Ask some people in Tim Wart's state if they care. They want this thing, nip it, you know. They want people to take care of this issue. People cannot just skip the line. That's all. People cannot just skip a line, man.
But we know that there takes officers, right? So we're talking about needing to hire more officers to execute this. We are talking about you can't just throw people into facilities. You've got to make sure that you feed them, got to make sure that you're keeping them healthy.
Right, and those needs expand if you're talking about children and families as well.
Exactly. So it's going to cost us monetarily up front, but it's also going to cost us because we know, again, that so many of these people are actually contributing to our economy.
There's also this interesting kind of pivot where you've got, you know, Elon Musk pushing for more high-skilled immigrant tech visas and invoking anger from, you know, other MAGA supporters who claim foreigners are taking American jobs. And this is all playing out very publicly on Twitter or X, whatever we call it now. Do you think the Trump transition is sending mixed messages on immigration? And do you think they're going to be able to get on the same page?
I don't think that they've ever really had a message, right? Like the only message that we saw during the campaign was deport them,
bro,
you know, kick them all out.
Bro,
that kind of.
You can't say that they have a message when 90 or 85% of Americans agree with Trump. They voted for him. Even on those, though, who didn't agree with Trump, they did vote for him. Yeah. The evidence are there. He's going to be the president of the United States. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's what he was saying at rallies. But, you know, Democrats, we struggled because we could not really effectively communicate like why immigration isn't the most terrible thing that we've ever experienced, because it's not. We are a country of immigrants, right? And so because we haven't had these conversations about the fact that we get so many of our trained nurses right now, because we are losing so many in the healthcare field because of COVID-19, and we know that there haven't been investments made to make sure that we can have those workers coming up. We get a lot of them out of the Philippines, right? You know, it's crazy that we really aren't having these worldly conversations, or if we aren't talking about what happens with our food supply and who it is that's actually going to work agriculture, who it is that's actually working construction. Like, there are jobs here for everyone, not only those coming in, but those that are actually right here every day. Because when we look at the joblessness numbers, they are low.
I also want to ask you, I mean, another thing, Democrats.
No, it's not what American thinks, though. It's not what America thinks. It's what you think. Jasmine, that's what she think. The Americans saying they got to go, and that's one of the top issue that Trump brought up. That's what the Americans voted for him. They gotta go. Even the states that are supposed to turn red, they turn red because of the same issue. Nobody cared about the abortion thing, because that's what Kamala Harris was running on. They voted for Trump because immigration. Yeah. They voted because of immigration, man.
Flack for, in addition to not, you know, pushing a comprehensive policy on immigration, was this kind of age gap, especially with President Biden. And, you know, House Democrats are coming under fire now for not supporting Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for the top spot on Oversight Committee. And some are blaming the old guard. There's all these memes online, you know, another millennial not able to take their job because some older person won't retire. Do you think she was treated fairly?
I mean, it depends on how you define fairly. You know, I was asked a lot about this particular race as someone that obviously serves on the Oversight Committee. And, you know, while I think that both are absolutely qualified, I do think that within the Democratic caucus, we are really stuck in our old ways of doing things, which is you get there by seniority. And so if you've been there longer, then you get the post. And I don't think that we fully sit there and say, who may be best equipped for this moment? That's not to say that Connolly is not, but I just think that overall, that's what we continue to see out of the House Democratic caucus. And I think that America is looking at us and saying, wait a minute, we lost the election and we know that the Senate lost seats. Now, the House, we picked up seats, right? But I think they are saying, we're looking towards y'all to show us that you're willing to shake it up if it means that we can move this country forward. But I think that oversight is going to be great under Connolly's leadership. He's obviously not someone who is new to this. He's very true to this. And I think that, you know, within the caucus, we will have some conversations about how do we do leadership, because on the Republican side, they have term limits. And so you can't sit in those posts very long. So they end up shifting out their leadership a lot more frequently than we do on the Democratic side.
And now for something completely different, I want to ask you about these recent Trump comments. He spent a lot of the holiday on social media targeting Panama, Greenland, and Canada for possible U.S. expansion. What do you think is driving these moves? Who do you think is talking to him about this? And how far do you expect him to try to go to accomplish these goals?
I don't know. I mean, it is crazy that this guy is about to walk.
That would be great for America now. If Canada joins to be like the 51st state of United States of America, that would be great for America. I don't know what, you know. Let me go back a little bit, because she's about to say something crazy, I can tell.
Crazy that this guy is about to walk into the White House for a second time.
It's not crazy. United States of America don't agree with you. I kept saying it. 80%, whatever. If it's 80, 75, whatever, or 90, don't agree with you. So it's not crazy. So if you said he's crazy, that means you saying all the people that voted for Trump, they crazy. Because they wanted him in there. It's not crazy they wanted him in there. It's not. America don't agree with you, Jasmine. Crockett.
And again, I kept saying on the campaign trail, this guy doesn't know who our friends are. Now, I can tell you that he loves to pal around with Putin, and we know that Putin has decided that he wants to bring back the former coalition that they used to have, and that's why he went into Ukraine. I am here to say that we've got to have really good people around Trump. And right now, the people he's picking are not the best people, because somebody needs to explain to him in a very elementary.
If they come and they start speaking like this, just know he made the right decisions. Democrats, that's what they do. You see, now he's gonna say elementary, come to speak, come and talk to Trump in the elementary. Come on, man. He's a businessman. He went in blind the first time. So you expect him to go back in blind again? No. He'll be a fool. It's not happening again. No, this time we're going to pick the best people for the job. And thank God he's picking people who has money, who don't care about losing money. Just like Trump.
Way why we don't go after our friends, why we don't start wars, and honestly, that includes even tariff wars with our friends.
Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely.
I'll say it again, Jasmine, Crockett, whatever your name is. American people don't agree with what you just said. If it's 80, whatever, don't agree with you. Even some black people don't even agree what you're saying. They look at y'all stupid now. The media is dead. We're not going to listen to y'all anymore. This is not going to go anywhere. We are going to listen to Donald J. Trump, the next president of the United States. Let's make America great again. Thank you for watching Afriame.